Welcome to the Smart Connector, the podcast that helps entrepreneurs be the leader their ideal people love. Build your influence, wealth and success, attract others for all the right reasons, and become a smart connector, the architect of your amazing business and life. Nick Coleman's such a positive, inspiring young man. I first saw him in action at a local Chamber of Commerce summer party at a school in Cheshire, where he was mentoring some of the pupils. He's a classic entrepreneur and action taker, having achieved great things with his business ventures at a relatively young age. And he's also a really fun guy. I know you'll love this interview with him. Welcome to the Smart Connector podcast, dedicated to entrepreneurial relationship success. My name's Jane Bayler and I'm your host. Today I'm thrilled to be interviewing one of the most lively and exciting young entrepreneurs I've met on my journey, Nick Coleman of the food and drink company The Snaffling Pig. Nick's the proud winner of the Smart 100 Best People Business Award, as well as Best Business Leader in Buckinghamshire, Young Entrepreneur of the Year, Most Innovative Business in Bedfordshire and Best Customer Service in Buckinghamshire, amongst many others. With all these people-centric awards to his name, Nick is the absolute epitome of a smart connector. So welcome, Nick.
Oh, what a lovely introduction. I wish you could follow me around wherever I go, just telling me that.
Oh, well, we'll have to discuss the PR fee for that now. Yeah, I mean, it's all true. So,
thank you.
Yeah, so Nick, I met you first when I was on the board of Bucks Business First, and I was so impressed with your energy, enthusiasm, and fun-loving, socially driven brand of entrepreneurship that I just couldn't wait to bring you on the podcast. So before we dive in, here's a little bit more about you for our listeners. So Nick founded Snaffling Pig in 2014 with a princely sum of £500. Aiming to create a premium food and drink brand centered around his obsession with flavoured pork crackling. In 2016, he took part in the 14th season of BBC2 Dragons Den, and in 2017, he won the Virgin Foodpreneur Award. The Snaffling Pig also won the 9 Great Taste Awards 2016, Buckinghamshire's Best New Business 2016, and he was shortlisted as Food Brand License of the Year in 2018. So serial entrepreneur, Nick also founded Medical Supermarket, a healthcare supplier to the care sectors, and he runs a large-scale medical and cleaning supplies distribution business, which delivers to over 3,500 locations each month from a warehouse facility in Aylesbury. Would you say I've summed that up, your business activities up correctly, Nick, or is there anything else that you'd like to add?
Sounds about right. I guess the thing to reiterate is I just fly by the seat of my pants the whole time. So you've made me sound like I know what I'm doing. Not really.
Okay. Well, you know, whatever you're doing, you're obviously doing it right, and other people think so too. So let's start by talking about all of those incredible awards, of which we've only listed a handful. What do you think it is about your approach that made you stand out over so many others that also would have applied?
As an entrepreneur, it's quite a lonely experience. And I was very fortunate. I've got a really good business partner and co-founder who's founded both these companies with me, who's in those dark moments has been like a shoulder to cry on, a person to high five when we need to celebrate. But I think when it comes to awards, it was a business mentor of mine who just said in the kind of very early days that, you know, you should just put yourself forward for these, you know, any kind of award really that you think you would do well in, because they're a great opportunity for you to reflect on what you've achieved, look at what your focus is for the future, and have a moment to sit back and just literally pat yourself on the back, because entrepreneurs don't do that, and that's kind of part and parcel of why entrepreneurs are who we are. We're never really happy with the situation, so we're constantly striving to push the boundaries of what our ability is, what the industry can do. So very early in our kind of entrepreneurial career, we started to apply for awards, and there are so many amazing awards that you can enter. A lot of them can cost money, but I specifically went after awards for the local community because I wanted to be recognised in our small little part of England as like experts in service. Because I think it's one of the most important skill sets a business can do. They obviously can have a great product, but if it's not delivered in the right way, then it just lets the whole thing down. So I've read a lot of books about customer service, and there's one particularly with Tony Heiss, and it's called about Zappos, and they have a phenomenal approach to customer service. And I basically just copy and paste because a lot of these ideas exist. There's not reinventing the wheel. And so, by focusing on customer service and focusing on awards that are about customer service, we've just been fortunate enough to win. But that's not discrediting the people we've been up against. They're equally as good, if not better. We've probably just had a very good application form process, and the judges have kind of seen our energy and passion for what we do, maybe.
Amazing. Would you say that customer service is the key to longevity, Nick, in business?
Yeah, I guess yes and no. It's so interesting. I mean, the reason I say no is that very recently Ryanair has been voted like the worst airline for customer service. Yet it continues to outperform because its prices are so cheap that people don't care, that they get treated like cattle and they have to pay extra for every single item. But Ryanair are very upfront about that. They're unashamedly upfront, and I think it's the overpromise and underdeliver. That's what customers hate, and I think the most important thing for a brand to do, and what I strive that both my brands focus on, is authenticity. Is that we are truly honest with our customers. We don't get it right all the time. When we do get it wrong, we have this objective, we call it fix it plus one, where we will fix the situation and then we do something else to make it a little bit better for them. So it could be a case of if a product doesn't arrive, you send them another one next day and another product on top of that. Or if someone's product didn't arrive, you send them something and then it's personalised with a nice handwritten card. That's like the fix it plus one attitude. When things go really well, you actually have very little interaction with your consumer at all. When things go wrong, that's your chance to get to know that consumer. And that's actually where negative experiences can actually almost be better than positive ones, because that consumer suddenly sees a whole different part of the business they never knew existed. And so we kind of embrace that failure and try and use it to our advantage each and every time. But so customer service is completely and utterly vital, but so is product quality. You've got to have a really good product that people want to buy, and then you've got to wrap it around with customer service that people enjoy working or buying from you. And when things go wrong, you've got to make sure that you've got a system in place that goes above and beyond for that customer.
I love that idea. That's so cool. That's brilliant. So, Nick, I'm just interested to know how hard it's been to juggle the conflicting demands of the several businesses you run.
Well, when I used to work for Marks and Spencer.
Yes.
And we used to have a performance development review every quarter, and they would always pick on my strengths and my weaknesses, and then I would have to go away and I'd have to work on my weaknesses. And I always found that quite frustrating because my weaknesses are my weaknesses, and no matter how much I work on them, I don't really enjoy them. I don't particularly want to be good at them, and therefore, when you own your own business, you have to be a kind of a jack of all trades, master of none. And so you're very aware of your weaknesses. My weaknesses are detail, finance, is general people management. I really struggle with the kind of day-to-day HR. And so what I've done is I've just accepted that is who I am. I am not an accountant. I am terrible speller. I rush. I don't look at detail. I make lots and lots of mistakes, but I surround myself with people who love all of that. They love detail. They love the HR side. They love fixing my mistakes. They love spotting my grammar errors, and they complement that skill set completely. So once a kind of an entrepreneur is happy in the skin they're in, that's when they can start to really focus on what they're good at. Now, I won't say I'm a typical bloke. I'm a terrible multitasker. I do think naturally women are very much better at it. But I'm so concentrated on one thing that I can't possibly be distracted by anything else. Yes. So the only way I could do this was I could start a business, focus my absolute energy on that business, surround myself with people who are amazing, far better at their jobs than I am mine, and then move on to the next business, and then totally and utterly focus on that one, and then surround myself with people who are better than me, who are better at their jobs than I am, and then at that point, then I'll move on to the next business. And that's kind of my attitude I am who I am. I'm not going to change, and I'm going to embrace the fact that I am working on Snaffling Pig now, and therefore I'm not working on Medical Supermarket. I've got a much better team who run that company far better than I ever did. They're doing great guns. They're doing brilliantly.
Wow, that's really amazing. And I've heard that from other successful entrepreneurs as well. Effectively, you put in the systems and the people. Once you've put in that initial energy and got everything set up and running well, you just choose your team wisely and you get them to run it for you.
The entrepreneur's the spark, makes the magic happen. You cannot be all things to all people. You've got to, it's like a football team, isn't it? You've got your strikers, you've got your goalkeepers, you've got your defence. At the very beginning, you can do a little bit of everything. But if you want to play in the big leagues, just focus on what you're really, really good at.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, Nick, do you find each of your businesses has attracted a different type of person to them? And if so, have you motivated them managed or motivated them differently? Obviously, given what you just said about you're more of a visionary and a leader as opposed to a detail-orientated manager.
Yeah, completely. The first company that we set up, Udi and I, is called Medical Supermarket, still going incredibly strong, and it is a business that is focused on selling medical supplies, cleaning products to GP surgeries, care homes, hospitals. It's a box shifter. It sells products that already exist in the market, and it sells them in a way that is very convenient for our customers to purchase. And so Medical Supermarket doesn't own any brands. It's a warehouse. It's a distributor. Yeah. And so that naturally attracts people who are interested in the detail and the minutiae of how you get an item from A to B, and the kind of the technology behind it, and the kind of the I guess the risk associated with stocking the wrong product and trying to find the right customers and all that. So that naturally has got kind of more detailed people involved. Now with Snaffling Pig, what's happened is that we are a brand, kind of a food in the food market, and you can almost see us as more of a marketing company than a manufacturer. Yeah. We're building a brand, we're building that kind of ethos around the brand, the community around the brand, and naturally that will attract people who are more creative, people who are more interested in emotional intelligence and understanding how consumers shop and why they shop. And so you end up getting people who are interested in that kind of more people and creative side of things. But it's really important that despite the fact that two brands are very separate, it's really important that we do still employ creatives in Medical Supermarket, and you employ more detailed people in Snaffling Pig, so that the businesses need a very diverse group of people. It's the only way they ever work. I mean, in the very, very beginning, when it was just me in this business, things moved very quickly, but lots and lots of mistakes happened. Yes. Now I've got 10 very different minds who all enjoy different types of parts of the business. The mistakes are much less frequent, in fact, hardly at all. And things, although move a little bit slower, when they do change, they have huge impact. They can really kind of get boost some wonderful stuff. So, the short answer to your question is, it's naturally they do attract different types of people, but we try and encourage all types of people into the company.
Yeah. So, would you say that the cultures of the two companies feel different?
They are very different, yes, and it's interesting because our first company, Medical Supermarket, started because, well, frankly, I wanted to make some money. I left Marks and Spencer, went and started Medical Supermarket with my business partner, because we thought if we were entrepreneurs, we would be really rich, we'd have loads of time, and we'd have no stress, because that's what it appears in the newspaper. Richard Branson as Nepal Island. I thought, oh wow, it'll be brilliant. We'll be that guy. And so you start a company thinking, I'm going to be really rich. And then over time, you realize that entrepreneurs have no money, have so much stress, and absolutely no time whatsoever. It's very difficult to have a work-life balance, because it's just life. Your work and your life is exactly the same thing. Yes. So unless you embrace that, you'll be kind of at loggerheads the entire time. Definitely. So 4 years into that understanding of actually, no, this is just my life. I need to knuckle down, and this is how, and I may not be rich, and I'm going to be stressed. That's just part and parcel of being an entrepreneur. Once I appreciated that, and we got Medical Supermarket to a point that I was kind of redundant. I'm the 0 to 3 million guy in terms of turnover. I'm the guy who kind of gets things going, but actually I need someone who can then take it from 3 to 10. That's what it is. So that's what happened at Medical Supermarket. We got it to 3. Now it was time for me to move on. And so with Snaffling Pig, I didn't start that wanting to make money. I started that because I just wanted to have fun. I just wanted to enjoy. If I'm going to be doing this for a day job, I just want to do something that I generally absolutely love, and it's created in my image. It's a brand that's values are very core to my beliefs. We have three very simple values: do great things, have some fun, don't be a dick. That's exactly how I live my life every single day. And so if I create a brand like that, I'm going to enjoy it more. And actually, what's ended up happening is that this brand has it's moved a lot quicker because I've focused more on the feeling of the brand, like not worrying about sales targets. We don't have sales targets in our company. We worry about, are we building the brand in the right way?
Yeah.
And therefore it's been a completely different approach. And so naturally the culture is very different in this company. This company, Snaffling Pig, is all about how can we make a difference in the world. Medical Supermarket is about how can we drive performance and profitability for our customers and our business.
Yes.
So yeah, two totally different approaches, but neither is wrong or right. They are just different ways of handling business.
Different, yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, that makes it incredibly interesting as well, because it's great to have if you like, a diverse business portfolio and a diverse approach to life. It makes it more fun, doesn't it?
It does. And I think what's interesting is because I'm using a certain type of my side of my brain with Snaffling Pig, I still have the ability to, when I'm talking about Medical Supermarket, I can help and support because I'm engaged in it more because I'm learning more different things in Snaffling Pig, and I can apply that to Medical Supermarket and vice versa. Medical Supermarket has a lot to offer Snaffling Pig. So there's a lot of synergy that we can share with each company.
Yeah, and you personally, you're obviously somebody that thrives on variety as well, because otherwise you probably wouldn't have become a serial entrepreneur. Would you say that that's true of you?
Definitely. I mean, I love variety. I'm not driven by money. I am driven by experiences and purpose. I think it's really important that a company has a purpose and an authentic purpose. You know, there's lots of brands out there who have these big, lovely purposes that don't really engage their consumer, and so no one really buys into it. Whereas, Snaffling Pig's purpose is to enjoy life, is to embrace the fact that we're human and get off social media, get down the pub and open a packet of scratchings, or don't, doesn't matter, but just be human. It's okay. We make mistakes, embrace those. And so that's Snaffling Pig's purpose in life. And so I do thrive on that variety. It's corny to say that no 2 days are the same.
Yeah.
But that is what's exciting. And I'm always thinking of, what's next? What's the next project I can work on once this one is up and running properly, and I can then move on to the next one.
Yeah. Any thoughts on that?
Got a couple of ideas. I definitely don't want to do what we call a Me Too business, just another version of an existing company, and you just change the logo and off you go. So I don't want to do anything like that. I like learning. I like being challenged. I'm not interested in technology. I'm really interested in products that you can see and feel and ideally taste as well. I love food. I love drink. I think they're quite easy products to get your head around.
Yeah.
But at the moment, there's so much excitement going on with Snaffling Pig that I can't think of anything else. My brain is just full of ideas for Snaffling Pig.
Oh, that's so exciting. So, Nick, what's your secret to getting all the great supermarket brands and shops to stock your Snaffling Pig products?
Well, we are by far, we've got a long way to go. It may look like we're doing good, but there's so much opportunity out there, and we've got a long, long way to go. But I think the reason why what I add to the company is I act with a lot of pace, and I think a lot of the team around me will always say that I'm a bit of a scattergun approach. I will just throw lots of stuff out there, and if something sticks, then I'll go after it like a dog with a bone almost. I'll focus completely on that. But I have to lob a lot of things out there. So with the supermarkets, it's really important you've got a great product. Yeah, the supermarket could list your product tomorrow, but the most important thing is the second, third, fourth order, because it's actually relatively easy to win a supermarket. It's very difficult to continue to stay in a supermarket. So you've got to have a really good product that people, once they take off the shelf, they then want to reorder.
Yeah.
But to get those supermarket listings in the first place is persistence. And it is a case of giving them something that doesn't exist in the market at the moment, proving to them that there is a consumer demand for that product, proving that you're doing something over and above what the competition is doing, and you can bring something that's exciting to the supermarket. And right now, what you're finding with supermarkets is there's a huge range rationalisation going on. So the likes of Tesco, Sainsbury's, they used to have tens, if not hundreds of thousands of products. But then the likes of Lidl and Aldi have come along, and they only have one tomato sauce, one avocado, one chicken fillet. So what the supermarkets are now doing are trying to reduce the range in each category so that they can then introduce new categories into the market and new ideas and new products for consumers to purchase. And so it is making it tougher for people to get into supermarkets because there isn't going to be the choice that there was before. But there's so many channels for brands to get into. And a great example is a wonderful brand called Huel. And they have built a £50 million business on the back of selling to consumers directly. And
really?
Yeah, and same with Gymshark. They're an apparel brand. They just sell to consumers directly. So it's not a case of looking at the traditional old channels of bricks and mortar anymore. It is absolutely, if you get your product on Amazon, that's relatively easy, but build up a really good website and get consumers to come to you directly and build your business up that way. It's much easier, much cheaper, and you end up having a much more detailed relationship with your consumer. You get to understand them a lot better.
And also more control as well.
Definitely more control. I mean, what we found is we will get one product listed in a supermarket, but on our website we can bring out 100 different products and we can try lots of different things and we can control the service that the customer receives. We know when things go right, we know when things go wrong. We can then add in little extras if we need to. So if we suddenly decide we want to build a gluten-free gift pack for our consumers, we can build it within a couple of hours, take a picture of it, stick it on the website, and suddenly there we've got another product to market. If England do well in the rugby, we could pull together an England rugby gift pack very, very quickly and put that to market. But with retailers, it can take 9 to 12 months to bring a product to market. So it's too late.
Amazing. So you can be a lot more responsive to the market by having effectively your own shop online.
Definitely. But you then have to spend so much effort driving consumers to your website. There's a lot of brands out there I know who have an amazing site, but they don't tell anyone about it. And they just expect people to come to them, but they never do.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for that, Nick. I just wanted to ask about your experience on Dragons Den. So how that all come about and how did you find it?
I think it was the most horrific experience of my life. It was so daunting. It is exactly how you see it on TV. You're in a corridor, you get into a lift, and then the lift doors open, and there's 5 famous people looking at you, going, well, "Who's this clown?" And you're like, "Oh my gosh!" And you walk to your mark on the set, and then I guess we were in there about an hour and a half altogether.
Yes.
So you're in there a long time. You're standing up. You've got spotlights on you. There's about 30 people dressed in black with headphones, microphones on, sound engineers, TV camera crew, and you've just got to ignore them. You've got to focus on the 5 dragons. And because you're in there an hour and a half, we're humans at the end of the day. Any question that gets sent to you, you've got a moment to process it. You've got to think about your answer, and then you've got to deliver a really concise response. And the BBC, bless them, it is an entertainment show. They will always edit the programme in a way to create a bit of theatre and make it look like it's not going the right way, and then obviously it can turn around and be positive. It was amazing for us. I mean, I loved it. I like to do something every day that scares me. That scared me. I'm still scared by it. But it was an amazing experience. It got us into about 3 million homes, built some really good brand awareness, and got us a dragon on board, a chap called Nick Jenkins. He sold it now, but he owned Moonpig, which is the online greeting company. Yeah. And he's great. We would never have met him, obviously, if we hadn't have gone through that process. And what Nick has added to the company has been a lot of professionalism. He's like a devil's advocate. He's always challenging our thought process and ensuring that we're thinking of the bigger picture here. We can as entrepreneurs, get so focused on the detail and what we call our little 4 walls, whatever's going on in our little world. Yes. Nick is really good at being separated from that and just throwing in these incredible questions that you just go, oh yeah, I didn't think of that. Maybe I'll go away and relook. So I highly recommend it if people are thinking of it, about it, but do not underestimate the volume of work needed. I mean, I probably spent in excess of 100 hours just learning my pitch, preparing the due diligence, making sure that those 3 minutes that we were on TV for, that we would be shown in the best possible light.
Yes.
And it took a lot of effort. But also, what was interesting about it is that it's similar to when you go for awards, these experiences allow you to reflect on your business, and it helps you kind of just tweak your business plan again. Business plans have a habit of just sitting in a drawer collecting dust, and
Yes.
it's really important you get them out of the drawer and you scroll all over them and you update them pretty much on a daily basis. And that's what we try and do. We try and, it's not not physical updating,
Yes.
but we're constantly thinking of the plan and constantly thinking, actually, let's just tweak that, because that's not what that comment we made 4 months ago is no longer relevant anymore.
Yes.
So let's just tweak it a little.
Yeah, so flexibility and responsiveness really to what's, well, the market feedback really. Would you say that
Definitely
that's an ongoing process for you?
Yeah, and as a small brand, that's the thing that we've got over and above the competition.
Yeah.
The big battle everyone is having
Yeah.
is that startups need distribution, and
Yeah.
the big incumbent Goliath companies, they need innovation, and
Yeah.
and startups can innovate within a matter of hours, and
Yes.
and the ability to act nimble and react to market conditions and just throw stuff out there, and if it sticks, go for it. That's what we need to be doing more of, because it's seen time and time again. The likes of Unilever and Procter and Gamble and Diageo, they are phenomenal companies, but they lack that entrepreneurial spirit, that spark,
Definitely.
and so they have to either acquire it in by buying brands,
Yeah.
or they try and set up their own venture capitalist arm of the company, who then try and replicate what an entrepreneur does. But are you born entrepreneur, or do you learn it? I guess it's a little bit of both, but you naturally have to be a little odd to be an entrepreneur. I mean, why anyone would sack in a very well-paid job to risk it all on selling pork scratchings, I don't know. Can't explain it, but it's far more interesting. I'd rather do that than what I was doing at Marks and Spencer.
Interestingly enough, I've sort of had some exposure to the innovation units at large companies, and it's quite interesting the way just the state of kind of being an entrepreneur and having your neck on the line is very different to actually being paid a salary to innovate. Would you say that that's part of the problem that those corporates face?
I think it must be. I think weird enough, I'm remembering a quote from Friends from many years ago, and it was about Rachel not finding a job because she was currently in a job. She didn't have this fear. And I think as entrepreneurs, there is this inbuilt fear of failure. No one wants to fail. And all the business books say, fail forward. It's great. No one wants to fail. Failure is horrific. It's not glamorous. It's horrible. It leads to depression. And so the most important for entrepreneurs, they're constantly trying to reduce the risk and obviously increase the upside. And so if you're in a well-paid job, where's the risk? You just, if you don't get it right, you go back to work tomorrow, that's fine. But with an entrepreneur, the risk is that you lose your house. The risk is that your kid could look at you one day and go, my dad's a failure. I don't want that. I need my child to be proud of me. And although it sounds silly, I need to sell more pork scratchings, that's how he's going to be proud of me. It's not that. How he's going to be proud of me is actually me spending more time with him. And so my definition of success is not, can I make more money? Can I produce a business that gives me the flexibility and the freedom to spend more time with my kid?
Amazing. That is really, really great, Nick. So what advice would you give to young people who are considering an entrepreneurial career?
I love meeting people who want to become entrepreneurs. It's like they've got this spark in their eye, and they can see all the upsides, and some of them can't really see the downside. So I think the first thing to note is take a really long, hard think about whether being an entrepreneur is for you, because it is. You really do have to manage your mental well-being on a daily basis, even an hourly basis. Like, it is a absolute roller coaster ride, but the highs are amazing. The lows are pretty low. So if you're someone who just likes a bit of an easy road, entrepreneur is absolutely not for you. You can't. There is no easy way to be an entrepreneur. You can't have the $1 million idea and then sit back and let the money come flowing. That's not how it works at all. I think you can't, with entrepreneurship, you can't learn it. I don't think you can just go and ask people, so, tell me all the things that you do and I'll apply that to me being an entrepreneur. You've just got to suck up as much information as you can, but you've got to get off your ass and do it. You've got to, if you've got an idea, and it means, if your idea is making kombucha, then you brew your kombucha, you then get down to the high street and you walk from shop to shop selling it. There are so many people that I've met who have tried to start a brand and spent tens, if not even hundreds of thousands of pounds making a really lovely logo, a really lovely bottle or a packet, and not actually selling it. In my head, if you, how Snaffling Pig worked, with 500 quid, we ended up buying a load of crackling, put it into bags, and I went pub to pub. And we did that for months and months before we actually invested any more than 500 quid into the company.
Yeah.
And it's that kind of, you can't be scared of sales. As an entrepreneur, sales has to be your strongest, your strength, because you're the person who can sell your brand, nobody else. So don't be the detail guy and then employ the sales guy. No, you have to be the sales guy. You have to be extroverted and out there and talking about your brand to as many people as you can. And just, I think, don't be afraid of it. Like, you don't have to be the next Facebook or Google. Like, if you love making brownies and you think there's a market to sell brownies, then go for it, because you'll learn as you go. The very first product we brought out is not the product that we have today, and it most likely will not be the product that we have in 2 years' time either. There's constant iterations of the product. You're never perfect. You're never happy with it, but just get the product out into the market. There's a saying that app companies and IT software developers use, is that you have to release your app before it's ready. So it's almost at its worst state, because if you wait till it's perfect, someone else would have done it before you.
Right.
You get it out there, get the feedback, improve upon it, and then keep evolving and improving.
Yeah. So sales first. Sales, obviously, without sales, then you don't have a business anyway, do you? So
no, that's it. And I think people hide behind the brand. They think, I've got a wonderful brand. The product is terrible. The most important thing is your product. If your product sells, the brand just will add to that. So what I did is I had a see-through bag with a really good pork crackling inside it and a little sticker on it. That was it. So the brand looked horrendous. It wasn't even called Snaffling Pig. It was called Giggling Pig at the time. and it sold really well. And so I knew I had a good product. The next thing was, right, now I've got a good product. How do I apply a brand to it? The first brand we applied was Giggling Pig. We then applied a different logo. We're on like our fourth iteration of what the brand now looks like.
Yes.
That's okay. It's okay to keep evolving it, because when we first started, we were selling in Henley, and that was a very specific market. Yeah. Now we're selling in Hong Kong and Sweden and London and Scotland. So we have to constantly think about how the brand can adapt to different places.
Brilliant. Nick, what advice would you give to your younger self? So if you were to go back and do it all over again, is there anything that you would have done differently?
I would tell myself to try and enjoy it. I think as I am a victim of just never being happy with the products, with the company, with the brand, the culture. I'm always wanting to improve upon it. Yeah. I think I should just sit back and just enjoy this roller coaster emotion. I should embrace the fact that no 2 days are always going to be great. You're going to have a great day and then you're going to have a terrible day. You're going to get that big order in, which is amazing. But the next day you realise you have to deliver it, and you're like, where do I get this product from? How do I afford the cash flow? How do I manage the production process? And so you've got to kind of just embrace it. You know, it's a part and parcel of the journey. And so that's my biggest thing. Just enjoy this horrible, horrific roller coaster emotion ride. But I still won't listen to myself.
Nick, this is something that I like to ask a lot of the entrepreneurs that I interview. So how do you start and end your day? Do you have any particular habits, either good or bad, that you'd like to share with our listeners?
I love the start and end of my day. So the start of my day is my little boy coming into bed, and he has his milk while we just play on the bed, and then we go and have breakfast together and put him in the bath and then walk into nursery. And then so I love my day. It wasn't like that before. It was hectic as anything. But I've learned recently that the most important thing is time with my son. So mornings are very relaxing and very enjoyable, and then evenings I always try and get home for bath time with him. If I can't because I've got a meeting or something, I'll end up literally just getting home, throwing some food down and again jumping into bed. But I always try and get home for bath time, and then just spend a bit of time talking to my wife, just trying to enjoy those precious moments. They're quite rare, and I don't want to sound like I'm preaching, but I've learned this very recently. I found that my wife had a very serious brain tumour, but she's okay now. But it's readjusted my outlook on life and reprioritised what's important to me. And my little boy is the most important So yeah, it's good. It's all good.
I think serious illness does that, and it makes you realise that we're only on this world for a short space of time, and we only have that time to share with the people that we love and we really care about. So
totally. And I think although we've had this, what people may see as quite a traumatic year, it's been the best year of our life. We have been able to see almost the light. We've both been given a glimpse into what it could have been, and we are just enjoying every minute of it. So
wow.
it's yeah. Thank you.
That's great. Okay. Well, I think the time's up, Nick, but I just wanted to say thank you so much. It's been absolutely brilliant to interview you, and I'm sure that our listeners are going to feel the same. So thank you so much, and I hope you have a great rest of the year.
Thank you very much.
Catch up again in a future podcast. Thank you, Nick.
My pleasure.
Thanks for listening to the Smart Connector podcast. If you've enjoyed this episode, why not head over to janebayler.com and order a copy of my free report on building your personal brand. I'd love to connect with you on social media. And finally, don't forget to like and subscribe to my podcast so that you never miss a show. Thanks for listening in, and see you soon.